Now we're live. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Graduates, you may be seated. I want to welcome everyone here tonight. Hopefully most of you probably know me. My name is Tiffany Millen, and I am the director here at the Natomas Homeschool Alliance. This is our 6th annual commencement, but the first time that we have ever had an 8th grade promotion by itself without our high school ceremony. So first time for that. And at this time, I usually welcome the members of our board, of which I am the singular representative this evening. At this time, I always say that homeschooling is a family affair. So if you're here tonight, you're family. And never, ever has it been truer than it is tonight, when literally probably everyone here is family. The Bible says that every good and perfect gift is from above. And I think we can all agree that sitting on this stage tonight are some of the best gifts that we could possibly receive. They may not be perfect, because parenting wasn't maybe quite as easy as it looked, but they are all very good gifts. And I think this year, maybe more than any other, we have learned to take nothing for granted. We have lost things that we never, ever thought we could lose. And even though it's only temporary, I think it makes us appreciate what we have that much more. And I certainly appreciate the fact that we are able to be here meeting inside this room tonight, because we know that the vast majority of graduates in California this year did not get a ceremony, anything like this. So I think it is fitting that we would open tonight in a prayer of thanksgiving. And one of our seniors tonight has volunteered to come and do a prayer for us. And I was so grateful that he was willing to do that. So Caleb, would you please come and do our prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this amazing moment we get to share with our family and friends. And though it's been an unconventional last semester, we thank you for all the memories we've made and a year we'll always remember. And as we go into hopefully less crazy times, please give us your guidance and direction in our next steps. And to make an impact with our future choices, we thank you for an amazing school, teachers, and group of people to learn with. Amen.
All right. At this time, we have a special music. And Ellie is going to do a guitar solo for us. you so much. It takes some courage to do that. I happen to know that we have a stage full of very gifted dancers and musicians, and when I was reading those bios, I was like, why do we not have more performances? So let me just tell you, if you guys come back in 4 years, now I know, and I will expect a few more, okay? All right. And now it is time for the faculty address, and I get to do that. We have a little different kind of speech tonight. Mostly I'm just going to tell you a story, but there's going to be a quiz at the end. And I understand that it's June, and if you're going to ask students to take a quiz, you better come prepared with a bribe. So I have done just that. So the person who can answer my questions at the end will get a $10 bill, okay? Because I would never ask a student to take a quiz in June without making it worth their time. I attended a graduation a couple weeks ago, and the salutatorian of that graduation got up, and he opened with this line: "I always knew we were the unluckiest class in history." I know. And then he went on, a few minutes later, he said, "And there is no silver lining." And you know, it was a great hook, because I was hanging on his every word, because I couldn't wait to see how he was going to bring it around and give us the punchline and make it all okay. And you know what? He never did. That is how he felt. And I appreciated his honesty. But you know what? You never, ever have to really feel like you're the unluckiest person in history. I happen to know that that young man has a family who loves him. He was going to a private school, so they were paying good money for him to go there. And he could probably, if he had looked a little harder, found something to be grateful for. And that's actually the first answer to our first question tonight. I want to share with you a little secret to finding joy even in the hard times, even in the dark times, and that is gratitude. We are experiencing a global catastrophe, right? A global pandemic. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. But we're not the first generation in history to have to go through a big deal. In fact, every single generation goes through something. Almost everyone had some moment in time when something so big happened that they said, "I will never forget where I was when this happened." For my grandparents' generation, I think that was Pearl Harbor. For my parents' generation, that was the day that John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and they felt like the world would never be the same. For my generation, I think we could say it was our 9/11. You know, we will never forget where we were that morning when we found out. And now, none of us will ever forget that 2020 was the year of the pandemic. So not every year is there a national catastrophe or a global catastrophe, but there's always going to be something, maybe a regional catastrophe, an earthquake, a fire, a tornado, a hurricane. These things happen. In between all of the really good times in our life, there will be dark times. And there will be personal times of crisis too, when maybe you lose a loved one or you have a health crisis. So it is really important to understand how to find joy and peace even in those hard times. And one key that I have found in my own life is gratitude. Probably you're too young to really know who Mr. Rogers was, but Mr. Rogers always used to say, if you know Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, look for the helpers. And in any time of calamity, there will be people who are out there doing good things. Maybe it's the first responders. Maybe it's the neighbor who rescues the neighbor's dog in a fire. Always there will be people doing good. Probably most of you do know about John Krasinski and his program that he did during the pandemic called Some Good News. John Krasinski understands the same thing about gratitude. He went out, he found people doing good, and he made an internet show about that. And after about 8 weeks, he was sitting on a gold mine, and he sold it. Because you know what? People want to hear the good news. And if you focus on the good news, you will have joy in your heart. My children always know when I'm a little bit depressed because they will get a very long, awkward email telling them how awesome I think they are and how much I love being their mom. Because doing that gives me joy. And you can find joy too. So think about that. Who are the people who have made you who you are, who love you? And when you get to those dark times, remember those things, because gratitude will always bring you joy, even in sad times and hard times. I want to tell you, take actually the balance of my time today to tell you about a dear friend of mine who understood how important gratitude was. The very first day I met her, she had come in, it was the middle of the first semester, she had 3 kids, they had gone to classes. At the end of the day, now I've never met this one before, she says, "Can I give you a hug?" I said, "Sure." She says, "I just want to thank you so much for making me and my family feel so welcome." You know what? I had not done anything special for her, but she was just lavish with her gratitude. And her and I became best friends from that day forward. And 3 years ago tonight, she spoke in this ceremony, but she wasn't on this program. In true Shabana style, actually her son was our student speaker, and he was up right after the prayer on the program, and 7 o'clock came, and they were not here. So I'm texting her, "Oh, 10 more minutes, she says. So I didn't want to start without him, so I'm apologizing. "Oh, just a few more minutes, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait. And finally she shows up. And she has prepared food for 200. Literally, in a full meal, she comes in with an entire meal for the 200 people that are sitting here, because that is what she loved to do. And I meet her in the hallway while the kids are carrying the food, and she said, "Tiffany, I want to talk tonight. Will you trust me to talk?" Okay, Shabana, I'm really kind of type A. I do like to stick to my program, but sure, I will let her talk. And so she gave a speech that night, and a few days later, I wrote a blog to honor the speech that she gave, honoring me. And I'm actually going to read that to you tonight. This is the blog that I posted. It says, "I have a friend who is extremely courageous, and she inspires me. Through tragedy, life has taught her that opportunities don't always come around again, so you can't let them pass. She speaks freely and loves fully. She lost her mother in childhood and became an orphan at 22, so today her habit is to leave very little unsaid. She lives the American dream the way many immigrant families have for hundreds of years. It isn't all that romantic in the first generation. It's a lot of hard work and delayed gratification. Her and her husband managed a hotel in San Francisco, which provided them a place for their 3 children to live. It was far from an ideal situation, but they saved until they had enough for a down payment on a home in Sacramento, where homes are a little more affordable, but still out of reach for many. Today, her husband works long hours to support his family. The last time I knew, he was an Uber driver. Their children will take that work ethic and go to college and have boundless opportunities. The American dream is alive and well. She is a full-time stay-at-home mom who stays even busier than most because she dedicates herself to volunteer work. She's an incredible cook and manager of resources, and she can feed hundreds for less than most of us spend to feed our family. She participates in various ministries to the homeless, and when she can't find an organization to join with in filling the needs, she just organizes her own outreach. She's an amazing fundraiser who has single-handedly raised tens of thousands of dollars for a school overseas that serves children in great need. The other night, she stood up in front of a church full of mostly Christians, and she honored me like only she can. I can't picture myself walking into her world and having the courage to do what she did. She is an incredible ambassador who is willing to overlook a lot of discrimination and believe only the best about this country and its people. She is one of the most patriotic Americans I know. In fact, she told me one time she, a few times, was able to take her children back to India, where they were from, to visit family. And she would tell her children, they were having a good time, but she would always tell them to look around them and realize that America is the best place to live. Very early in our friendship, she asked me if she could set up a table at school with a sign that said, "Meet a Muslim, ask me anything." I couldn't let her be a sideshow, but she didn't need a sign. Her genuine love for people and warm personality have won the hearts of a community that hasn't had much opportunity to know someone of her faith personally. The other night, when I applauded her courage in standing up in front of a church full of Christians, she paid us the highest compliment of all. "I only saw really loving humans who were there honoring our future. My courage came from my love for you. Didn't know if I could honor you again like this in life, and I didn't want to let the opportunity pass." Shabana always used to say that none of us are promised tomorrow, and she lived her life just like that. She did not leave anything unsaid. As hard as it is for an awkward introvert to graciously receive the public honor of a bubbly extrovert, I want to honor her by extending her work as an ambassador to an even broader community. So I am reposting the words she spoke at our graduation, and this was the speech Shabana gave. Hello to all. My name is Shabana, now mostly known as someone's mom, Isa, Samaya, or Moose's. Our family moved from San Francisco less than 2 years ago, and I walked into NHA like most do, lost and confused. There she was, calming me down and reassuring me I won't ruin the lives of my 3 children. In months to come, I saw that she does that for many parents who are in need of an outside reasoning voice. She mentors, she advises, she does it in a very graceful way. To her, it is just normal, but we all have a story of how she has been there for us. In this day and age, it is easier to misunderstand a Muslim than to embrace one. She not only embraces me, but she went beyond to gift her friendship. I once asked her if I could sit with a sign that read, "Meet a Muslim." She honored me by saying, "You don't need a sign. People will get to know you for who you are." And this is a poem that she wrote. It's called Sisters. She has soft platinum hair. I cover mine. She grew up in a small town. I grew up in San Francisco. We are different, no doubt. Her eyes are deep green gems. Mine are brown sparkles. Her skin like a porcelain doll. Mine is honey in the sun. Hey, Tiffany, we are different. Your family has been here since before the revolution. I an immigrant since the age of 6. With so many differences, why are we so alike? Our love of God, our concern to raise our children correct, your desire to serve a huge community, my obsession to feed every person who does good to me. You are a wonderful writer, I a loudmouth speaker. We let no difference of religion, race, culture, my samosa or your hamburger pull us away from a true friendship. Hey, Tiffany, we are the unsung heroes on this journey, and I am so proud to have you in my life. I don't have a plaque or certificate or a huge basket of gifts. All I have are my words and food that I cooked for all of you. And she cooked enough to feed everyone, as I had said previously. Shabana and I have a great deal in common, though you wouldn't know it to look at us. She gives and loves and serves in an endless cycle of doing for others. I aspire to do the same, but my contributions happen in a world that easily accepts me. Hers happen in a world that is naturally suspicious. She has done nothing to earn that suspicion, and she refuses to let it slow her down. She is amazing, and I am so proud to have her as a friend. That was the blog post that I wrote a few days after she gave her speech that night. Shabana told me a story one time that she had broken down on the side of the road and she didn't have a cell phone. She needed to flag down a passing motorist. And her son, who wasn't very old at the time, but he knew, he didn't believe anyone would stop because he knew that it was obvious to everyone that she was a Muslim. And she said, "No, you're wrong. They're going to stop and help us." And she always believed the best about everybody. And she got out there and she was right and he was wrong. One of the things that she did well was to raise money to help others. She called herself #beggar4life. A little immigrant housewife from Sacramento raised the money to start a school in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I didn't turn my page over, sorry. She was constantly helping anyone that she could find in need. She volunteered at Loaves and Fishes. If she saw a homeless person on the street with no shoes, she was off to the thrift store and back in no time at all with a pair of shoes. She would cook food. If she had a leftover plate of food, she would box it up and give it to the first person that she saw. She was just a really incredible, incredible lover of people. Last year on July 3rd, I was actually sitting in my car in a church parking lot waiting for my daughter to get done at youth group. It was a Wednesday night, and I got a text from Shabana, and she says, "Hey, you want to come to brunch on Thursday?" And this is Wednesday night, and she's saying Thursday, so I was confused. I was like, does she mean tomorrow? Does she mean next Thursday? But I didn't want to say that. So I'm like, sure, because whatever Thursday is fine. So we go along, and I realized that she wants me to come, like, in the morning. And I said, you know it's July 4th. She says, "Yeah, I know. That's why I want you to come, because I'm off work." She had taken a job as a courier, so she would go out early in the morning up into the mountains to a hospital, grab the courier bags, bring them back down here, and she would be home in time to take her kids to school. But she was off on July 4th. So I went at 10 o'clock, and I had brunch with her. And on that day, as in many days before, I told Shabana a story that I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, because if I try to tell it to you, I'll be way too long, because the Sunday school teacher will come out of me, and I will get too detailed. But it's the story of the Good Samaritan, and many of you probably already know it. So this was a story that Jesus told in the New Testament. The greatest commandment, he said, is to love God. He then went on to say that the second greatest commandment is this, to love your neighbor as yourself. And the question was asked of him, who is my neighbor? So Jesus told this story to illustrate the answer. The hero of that story came to be known as the Good Samaritan. The Samaritan would have been ethnically different from the audience that Jesus addressed, and he also practiced a distinct religion with its own version of the scriptures. The neighbor that Jesus described was not like his audience, and in fact, they were very hostile to Samaritans. And his point was that the people we should love don't have to look like us. We don't have to look the same or have the same belief system. We are to love everyone. And that is what Shabana did. So the story of the Good Samaritan illustrates some of the common barriers that people often use as an excuse not to love those who are different from themselves. Factors like race, national origin, and religion divide people. Shabana was from India, and she was a devout Muslim. Her dress reflected both her Indian culture and her faith. For many, her obvious differences were a barrier, but she determined to overcome that barrier with love. And she knew that if we could just overcome some of the superficial differences, we would find we have a great deal in common. So as I said before, Shabana raised money to start a school in Sierra Leone, West Africa. And I'm going to read just a little portion written by someone who was born in the little village where she started the school. It said, in 2010, Sister Shabana started a school in the village of Rogpap, which I'm sure I am completely destroying, in Sierra Leone, the place of my birth. It was Rogpap's first school. Very quickly, the school was filled with students from surrounding villages, most of whom could not have otherwise had an education. There was no school in their area. Other children transferred from better-funded schools that were located farther away. Thus, all 6 grades of her school filled at once. It cost her and her supporters $5,000 to start the school. A few years ago, she raised more funds to build a bigger school to accommodate the many village children who were drawn to the school. This year, 9 of her first African children took their university entrance exams. They are all orphans. They are now awaiting their results. When I shared that news with her, she wrote back saying, "They will become trees that shade others and serve others while having deep roots in the ground like you." Her friends knew little about the seeds of hope and change that she planted in Africa and continued to nurture with her love and selflessness over the years. The news of her death was a great shock to the children and the communities she served in Sierra Leone. Prayers were performed for her in nearly all regions of Sierra Leone by people she never met and communities she never visited. Exactly 2 weeks after Shabana and I had brunch last July, she went to work one morning and she never came home. A tragic car accident claimed her life. And so it is my desire to make sure that the message of her life lives on. So this year we started the Shabana Patel Memorial Scholarship Fund. And any of our seniors could have applied for it. None of them did. So tonight I am bringing what we wanted to get our seniors involved in to you by giving this speech in her honor. If you have been around a while, if you've ever been to one of our orientations, you know that at NHA, we say we have a hand, not a handbook, right? We only have 5 rules in our whole handbook. They can be summarized in 5 words. I'm sorry, 3 rules, 5 words. Anybody knows what those are? Respect, right? Respect everything. Respect the building, respect the teachers, respect each other, respect yourself. Respect, first rule. Be kind, golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. 3rd rule, don't run because it's too dangerous in these hallways. Okay, so that's our handbook. Tonight, I'm going to give you another handbook. This handbook is more like a handbook for living. First rule we already talked a lot about, gratitude. When you're feeling down, gratitude. Be thankful. Find something to be thankful for. Okay, next rule. Jesus said it, first most important thing, love God. If you're a person of faith, love God. That will be the foundation for so many other great things that will happen in your life. Love God. Second rule, love people. 3 rules to live by. Gratitude, love God, love people. Even if you're not a person of faith, you know, statistics have shown that if you go out and just to try to accumulate things for yourself and seek fame and fortune, you will not be happy. The happier people are people who go out to serve and love others. So, gratitude, love God, love people. You got that? Okay, that's our quiz. Let's all say it together. Ready? Gratitude, love God, love people. You're all winners tonight. We have $10 bills for everyone. And you get $10. And you get $10. Do you understand the cost of reference there? No, it's not. That is an opening. And you get $10. And you get $10. All right. Oh no, we have to have our video. It is time for our video. So, Jordan will cue that up for us, and we will enjoy.
Here's to you, you were pink or blue, and everything I wanted. Here's to you, never sleeping through, from midnight till the morning. Had to crawl before you walked, before you ran, before I knew it. You were trying to free your fingers from my hand, 'cause you could do it on your own now, somehow.
Slow down, won't you stay here a minute more? I know you wanna walk through the door, but it's all too fast. Let's make it last a little while. I pointed to the sky, and now you wanna fly. I am your biggest fan, I hope you know I am. But do you think you can somehow slow down?
Here's to you, every missing tooth and every bedtime story. Here's to Barbie cars, lightsaber wars, and sleeping in on Sunday.
Had to crawl before you walked, before you ran, before I knew it. You were teaching me the only thing love can. Hold hands through it when it's scary. You've got me.
But slow down, won't you stay here a minute more? I know you wanna walk through the door, but it's all too fast. Let's make it last a little while. I pointed to the sky, and now you wanna fly. I am your biggest fan, I hope you know I am. But do you think you can somehow slow down? Please don't roll your eyes at me. I know I'm embarrassing, but someday you'll understand. You'll hold a little hand, ask them if they can slow down, slow down. Here's to you, you were pink or blue, and everything I wanted. Here's to you, never sleeping through, from midnight till the morning. Had to crawl before you walked, before you ran, before I knew it. You were trying to free your fingers from my hand, 'cause you could do it on your own now, somehow. But slow down, won't you stay here a minute more? I know you wanna walk through the door, but it's all too fast. Let's make it last a little while. I pointed to the sky, and now you wanna fly. I am your biggest fan, I hope you know I am. Do you think you can somehow slow down? Here's to you, every missing tree. Here's to Barbie cars, lightsaber wars, sleeping in on Sundays. Had to crawl before you walked, before you ran, before I knew it. You were teaching me the only thing love can. Hold hands through it when it's scary. You've got me, but slow down. Won't you stay here a minute more? I know you want to walk through the door, but it's all too fast. Let's make it last a little while. I pointed to the sky, and now you want to fly. I am your biggest fan. I hope you know I am. Do you think you can somehow slow down? Please don't roll your eyes at me. I know I'm embarrassing, but someday you'll understand. You'll hold a little hand, ask them if they care. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause it's all too fast. Oh, oh, oh. I am your biggest fan. I hope you know I am. But do you think you can somehow slow down? Slow down. Slow down.
All right, at this point in our ceremony, we have what we call a rose ceremony. My eyes are getting bad, but I do know the difference between roses and tulips, and those are, in fact, not roses. Because I was at Costco a couple days ago. I'm telling you, they had every beautiful color of rose you could imagine. I was at Costco this morning, not one rose. And the lady assured me that there was no Costco that I could find in the entire region that would have a single rose. So, we are having our first ever tulip ceremony tonight. So, here's the deal. You guys need to think of one or two people, maybe three if you need it, who have been instrumental in your life thus far, in your education particularly, since this is your 8th grade promotion. I will give you a hint. Your mother needs a flower, okay? I give that little hint because the very first time we did this, I had 2 graduates on the stage, an 8th grader and a 12th grader, and I got none. Seriously, 0 flowers for me. Okay, mom needs a flower. All right, so now we got that out of the way. I'm going to give you just a minute to go down. There's tulips here and there's tulips here. Just carefully kind of take them out. I did find out that tulips are much more fragile than roses. So just do your best. Take a few out. Go find your mom, your grandma, whoever you'd like to give a tulip or two to. Do that and then come back and sit down. Go. Okay, and now at this time we will do the presentation of our certificates, and this is going to be a little different than we've done it in the past because I don't want to be touching, shaking hands, and all of that, and you're the teacher anyway. So it is absolutely fitting that the parent would come and hand off their certificate. So I am going to call families one at a time. You can send one representative, both mom and dad can come, whatever you want. Come on up. We're going to have mom and or dad stand here. We will have our graduate come up and stand right over here. I'm going to do a little bio, and then mom or dad can grab the certificate right off the top of this stack. You'll see the names there, and we'll hand those out. Now, I know because if you're up here, you can't be down there taking pictures, so we have our photographer tonight, Emily, and so pause there when you're doing the certificate presentation. We'll get your picture, and we'll make those pictures available to everyone. All right? So our first promoter tonight is Mr. Cooper. Come on over. Can we get Cooper's parents to come on up? I gotta tell you, Mr. Cooper here was a trendsetter this year. He came into homeschooling about maybe a month or two before every other student in the country became a homeschooler. So they all followed him right out the door. He enjoys gaming, which, you know, I love it when people are willing to say that because almost everybody enjoys gaming. It's a really awesome thing to enjoy, and it kind of gets a bad rap. So Cooper enjoys gaming, fishing, playing basketball, doing pranks. I got a feeling there's a story there. Spending time with his siblings, listening to music. He has participated in the governmental youth program, the YAC, the Black Male Youth Empowerment. And so in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present you with this certificate of promotion to Mr. Abdul Cooper. Very good, guys. You can go ahead and go back to your seats. Thank you. And if we could get the Edwards family to come up for Mr. Paul. So Paul has been at South Sutter since kindergarten, and he plans to continue through high school, which is awesome. His interests are gaming again, another honest bio, love that. YouTube, tennis, and science. And in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present this certificate of promotion to Paul John Edwards. All right, thank you, Paul. And if we could get Emma's folks to come up. Emma has also been homeschooled since kindergarten, and I think she's been involved in dance pretty much that whole time. She is into ballet, jazz, tap, and dance theater. She also loves art and photography, which she's taken right here at NHA. And last year, she entered a photograph that she did for her class into the state fair and got a ribbon, which was pretty amazing. She's into volunteer work at the Food Closet, the Hope Center of Oroville, serving the campfire victims, the Union Gospel Mission, and she volunteers as a sidewalker helping children with therapeutic riding, and I assume that's horseback riding, correct? Awesome. So in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present this certificate of promotion to Emma Hardy. All right, next up we have the Karpov family. There we go. David's mom is coming on up. So David is a very outgoing and friendly leader. He's been known to instantly organize groups of strangers into teams if he goes to the park. He's a team leader in his youth group. He likes to build with Legos, brain teasers. He's into roller coasters, traveling, swimming, skiing, biking, camping, graphic design. He has a passion for aviation. He's homeschooled for 3 years and plans to continue through high school, taking community college credits And he's going to start ground school after the 9th grade to become a pilot, which I think is super cool. So in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present this certificate of promotion to David Karpov. And then we have the pinks, or however many pinks want to come. So Alexis's hobbies include skateboarding, photography, playing her ukulele, but her greatest passion is dance. She started ballet at 4 years old. She's also into lyrical and hip-hop dance. She earned a superior ribbon at the ACSI Piano Festival, and she's currently into playing contemporary pop music with her piano. So here we have another very gifted musician who did not treat us tonight, but that's okay, that's okay. And Alexis plans to attend Woodland Christian High School, which I think she'll have a great time. So in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present this certificate of promotion to Alexis Pink. And then if we could get Christian's family. Christian enjoys listening to music, coloring, reading, playing video games, riding his bike, and participating in Boy Scouts. He is currently first class rank. He loves fishing, camping, being with his family. His favorite subjects are art and history. He is looking forward to his freshman year of high school and further pursuing his ultimate goal of becoming a computer programmer. Very cool. And so in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present this certificate of promotion to Christian Prater. All right, and next up we have the Stranskys. We probably can't fit them all on the stage, so a representation will do. Jacob has homeschooled since kindergarten. He enjoys playing chess every opportunity he gets. I think he even has donated a chess set to our chess club when we are in need. His favorite subject in school is math, and he frequently tutors his siblings. He also likes riding his bike and his ripstick and hanging out with his friends. In recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present the certificate of promotion to Jacob Stransky. And if we can get the Thompson family, Williams family. He's tall. William has been homeschooled since kindergarten. William enjoys learning new songs on the piano and playing the drums. He's a football fanatic. I think we saw a little bit of that in his slideshow. And so he's looking forward to going to high school to play football and working on his goal of attending Stanford. Wow, Ivy League, very cool. So in recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present this certificate of promotion to William Lee Thompson IV. Next up, we have the Weitzel family. Eleora loves to read, ride horses, play worship music on her guitar, which she blessed us with this evening. Horseback riding has sparked her interest in a career with animals, and she's already begun dual enrollment at Yuba College this summer. What? Are you kidding me? Taking a veterinary assisting class. When she isn't reading or playing guitar, she is helping out in the garden and taking care of her dogs, cats, and chickens. In recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present the certificate of promotion to Eleora Weitzel. And finally, we have the Young family. I don't know how young they really are, but their name is Young, so we will call them the Youngs. Jordan has been homeschooled since he was in the 5th grade, and his interests include violin and piano. Here, another, okay, we did not get to hear this guy play tonight. This is insane. So he has played violin for the Sacramento Youth Symphony for the past 4 years. He was part of the Cosumnes River College Orchestra for 5 semesters. He enjoys playing the violin in their concerts. He is a first-class ranked Boy Scout. That's our second one on the stage tonight. Very good. Jordan is very active, enjoys basketball, football, and running. He won first place for his age group in the Sacramento Mud Run in 2019. In the future, he plans to continue to homeschool through high school and upon his graduation, pursuing a career in real estate investment. In recognition of your hard work and completion of the 8th grade, it is our privilege to present the certificate of promotion to Jordan Young. All right, and that pretty much concludes our program tonight. Before I dismiss our graduates, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how that's going to go. So we're going to hit the music. They are going to go out that door, and they're going to keep going and go right out the front door, and you will find them hanging out outside. And we would encourage you to hang out outside for as long as you'd like, just because that's a little safer place to be hanging out. If you need to come back in and use the restroom or whatever, that's absolutely fine. Thank you all for coming tonight, and I would like to ask our graduates to please stand. It is my honor to present to you the graduating class of 2024.
You know I'm back, like I never left. Another sprint,
Our seniors picked
another
this song.
step, another day, another breath.